Hello guys, today I'll be reviewing the album Frozen in Time by Obituary. Now I'm a bit of a newer fan, and as of now my favorite albums by them are probably Cause of Death and World Demise. Those are probably the albums that I return to the most, but honestly this album, Slowly We Rot and Incomplete, those albums honestly fight for my third favorite Obituary album. I think this album really is that good. Some people might give me looks for putting this album at the same level as Slowly We Rot, or maybe have that album maybe above that album, but I don't know. Again, I think this album really is that good. I also really like the production of this album. If I remember correctly, Scott Burns returns to the producer chair for this album, because I know they had a different producer for the previous album, Back from the Dead, if I got the album title right, from 1997. But yeah, this album, I've been listening to certain songs from it a lot lately, and I figured why not go ahead and review an Obituary album. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. The album starts off with Redneck Stomp. This is an instrumental that has a bit more slower tempos, and we're also having plenty of solid heavy riffs. And you can also notice that there's a lot of repetition in this track. Now, maybe not the greatest instrumental out there, but it doesn't have to be either. But either way, I do like it overall, and overall, a decent way to start off the album. Next, we have the song On the Floor, and this song sees them going for the more faster tempos, such as when you listen to the verses. But you also have the chorus where you get a bit more groove, such as from the riffs, of course, and the rhythms. And I also like the angry vocals from John Tardy throughout the song, especially in the chorus. But overall, I think this song is one of the highlights on the album. But next we get to the song Insane. This is one of the bigger songs on the album. I know it had a music video. The verses are a bit more energetic and upbeat in tempo. And then you also have the chorus, which is a bit more groovy, a bit more slower / doomy, along with John Tardy's angry, aggressive vocals. But yeah, definitely another highlight for me on the album. And when I was listening to the album, I knew this song would end up being one of my favorites on the album. And same with the next song, Blindsided. My favorite thing about the song is probably the rhythm work. I really like the slow, groovy-ish rhythm work in this song. It really pulls you into the song, and sure, the song doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of direction, but in my opinion, it doesn't really have to either. But yeah, easily one of my favorites on the album, and kind of underrated too. But next we have the song Back Inside. And this song, to me, kind of feels like standard Obituary, but at the same time, I do like the energetic aspect of the song, and this song, not gonna lie, it's kind of a banger. I think it's a song that is getting better with each listen too, for me personally. But next we have Mindset, and with this song, I like the slow, doomy guitar work / rhythms in the song. Not a song that I return to a lot, but after hearing the song again recently, it's definitely a song that I would be willing to return to more, because this is maybe another contender for being one of my favorites on the album. Overall, a pretty solid track. But then you get to Stand Alone, and this song sees the band going for the more energetic side of their sound, or more thrashy or faster side of the band. But also, I really like the aggression or the aggressive nature of the track, whether it's from John Tardy's vocals or just from the pure aggression for how fast they're playing or the riffs themselves. All around, a pretty good song. I don't know if it's one of my favorites on the album, but if not, it's maybe an honorable mention. Overall, again, I think it's a pretty solid track. But then we move on to Slow Death, and I like the slow, doomy riffs in this track, especially. Kind of like with Mindset, I like the slow doominess of this track too. And this is one of the songs on the album where I think John Tardy's vocals really suit the music very well. Now, there isn't really a song on the album where it doesn't suit it well, but I think this song is definitely one of the better moments in that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to death metal, or at least the death metal that I've heard so far, I do find myself really digging the moments where the bands are going a bit more slower and doomy, but of course I do like the more thrashy or more up tempo side of death metal. I mean, Altars of Madness, I really like that album, and Leprosy is also one of my favorite death albums. So yeah, Slow Death also. Through looking at the lyrics, sounds like this song could maybe be about how we're creating this slow death for ourselves by through the actions that we make. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's my interpretation of the lyrics of the song. But either way, overall, I think it's one of the highlights of the second half of the album. The next day of the song, Denied. Honestly, not one of my favorites on the album. I've heard it a couple times, and it just doesn't leave much of a lasting impression on me. Maybe a song that I might have to return to a bit more just to let it fully sink in, maybe, but it's a good song, but probably one of the weaker songs on the album for me personally. But either way, not bad, though. But finally, we get to the album closer, Lockjaw, and you can maybe make the argument that this song kind of has it all. You have the more slower moments, such as towards the beginning of the track, and you have your more mid-tempo moments, which is around like the 1 minute mark or so, somewhere in there, if I remember correctly. And then you also have the more faster, more aggressive moments, such as in the verses. But yeah, also towards the end, the song closes off with this chuggy rhythm that I really like. It starts around like the 3.5 minute mark, if I remember correctly, but the song goes multiple directions, and overall I think it's a pretty solid track and definitely a great way to close off the album. But anyways, if I had to rate this album, I'd maybe go with an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. Again, I am a bit of a newer fan of the band, so my opinions on certain albums could change at any time, but as of now, for this album, I'm probably going to have to go with an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And if you're an Obituary fan and you haven't listened to this album in a while, definitely give it another listen for sure, especially certain tracks like On the Floor and Insane and Blindsided and Slow Death and Lockjaw, just to name a few. Overall, I think it's a pretty enjoyable album. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How's it compared to the other albums for you personally? And let me know some of your least favorite or least favorite tracks on the album and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.